Here I'm asked to find the descriptions of the polynomials, including the degree, zeros, end behavior, and then finding the equation. The equation, we're going to assume a is equal to 1 here. So to start with let's go ahead and go with the zeros first. I think that's the easiest one to kind of see. Because I know that it crosses or touches the x-axis on these 3 points, means I'm going to have 3 zeros. So my zeros here, I'm going to make red, is when x is equal to -3, when x is equal to -1, and when x is equal to +4. So those are my zeros because that's when my graph there touches the x-axis. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the end behavior. So end behavior, I see that it is pointing down on the left side and up on the right. So the way I'm going to write that is as x goes towards -infinity, or as we go to the left, y is going down, so towards -infinity. As x goes towards +infinity, y is going up, so we say it goes towards +infinity. That's my end behavior. So far, a couple things. What we should notice here is that I see that it is pointing in different directions with my end behavior. So that tells me my degree is going to be odd because they're not pointing in the same direction. Second thing is I see 3 zeros. Now this doesn't mean it's third degree. Be careful of that because really what tells us which degree it is how many kind of terms that we have, or we could create the equation and find out from there. So what I mean by turns is that if I were to follow this line, I'm starting by going kind of uphill here. So that's 1 degree. Then down is 2, up again is 3, down is 4, up again is 5. So this is really going to be a 5th degree function. And we'll talk about how it looks in the equation in just a second here. So for the equation, a couple things about the equation. We're going to use our zeros here really to help us out because what's going to happen here is because there's 3 zeros, I'm going to start with f of x equals, and I'm going to go with 3 sets of parentheses, meaning I know there's going to be 3 times where we have a 0. Now the first 0 is -3, which means if I plugged in -3 into this first parentheses, it would give me 0. So it has to be x plus 3. That +3 here is really important to understand. Second one would be x plus 1, because if I plugged in -1, that would give me 0. And the third one would be x minus 4, because if I plugged in +4, that would give me 0. Now I got to look at these one more time here. When it's at -3, I see that it bounces off of that point, meaning I know that's going to be squared. Same thing at +4, it bounces, so I know that it's going to be squared. And then the last thing I got to do is make sure that since we're starting uphill, I know my a value is positive, so I don't have to put a negative in front. And there's my equation.